What is going on, everyone? Today we're gonna be basically reacting to Mase reacts to Diddy's boyfriend. Yeah, that title is absolutely outrageous. I can't read that on YouTube. Might get in trouble for that one. But just know it's crazy, man. And Diddy has been getting caught up and been getting exposed a lot more for his freaky ways. Let's just say that. Very, very freaky ways, including Cassie, man. Now, let's just dive into the video, see what it's talking about.
Make the right decision leaving rap?
I did. Everything now that we see playing out was all the things I escaped. The car, the shine, the loan, the Puff Daddy, the Craig Mack,
Biggie Smalls.
the Biggie Smalls. So even though I made those decisions and it cost me money, that's why I got with Killer and gave me the money back. I didn't lose no money. It's destiny.
This whole Diddy's hired ex-workers going on a press tour has been wild, and the information that they revealed is just too much for my ears. So one of them workers who actually testified in the Diddy trial has gone on a press tour trying to publicize his book, and he has left everyone shook, from Cameron to Vlad TV to Mase, who had first-hand experience with Diddy. This dude, the Punisher, aka Share Hayes, has freak-off stories for days, one of which involves him getting off on Diddy. When Share was hired, he didn't even know he was walking into that kind of situation the first time he got the call. According to his own words, Cassie hit him up under a fake name, Janet, and said it was her birthday, claimed her husband allowed her to hire a dancer, just a private party booking. She gave him the date, the time, and the address. He quoted her around $200. No red flags at first. That's just business as usual for him.
Yo, they called up like they was just hiring a regular party. Cassie hit me directly, said her name was Janet, and said it was her birthday. So her husband said she could hire a dancer. So I just booked it like a regular party. At the time, it was like $200. I gave her a quote. She said she was going to be there with some friends. They gave me an address and the time to show up. And I'm thinking I'm showing up to do a party, just a regular little striptease for a birthday girl.
Now, the way they found him, just regular SEO. Share's business is tight. If you search male strippers for hire in NYC, his site pops up. So Puff and Cassie didn't target him specifically. They clicked the link, made a call, and he happened to answer.
All my marketing and stuff in my business is like SEO, so Google searches. So if you go online in the New York City area and you put in male strippers for hire or whatever, my website's gonna come up. So they just clicked on the website and called the number. And I just happened to pick up the phone. I don't think they were looking for me specifically.
Right.
I just picked up the phone.
Got you.
And according to Share, he pulled up thinking it was a private party, but the location was a high-end hotel, which is what continued for the rest of their professional relationship. We're talking Trump Tower, Essex House, and another spot on Central Park West he couldn't even name off top. Every single place was next-level luxury. He said one of those suites, the London Hotel, was going for $30,000 a night. Just the setting alone told him this wasn't your average private event.
Along the lines of super high-end, super suites. One of the suites, man, in the London Hotel, it was so crazy when I got out of it. I Googled it, and the joint was like $30K a night, yo.
Wow.
I never seen nothing like this in my life, man. The hotel room looked like, you know that scene in the Titanic when they walk in that ballroom and the stairway well comes down?
Right.
Like the hotel room was crazy.
And when he got there, Cassie made one thing clear. This wasn't just a personal pleasure experience. It was a scene, candles everywhere, all the furniture covered with white sheets, a single chair set up across from a large sofa, and that husband she mentioned would walk in later, sit in the corner of the room, and just watch everything and gave commands. Shari said Puff never spoke to him directly, not once. All instructions were passed through Cassie. If Puff wanted the angle changed, more oil applied, or the lighting adjusted, he'd tell her and she'd pass it along.
Nah, never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her, and she said at some point her husband's gonna walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
So we'll be like on the couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair. and eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area, of course, the room, like watching, and we're supposed to act like he's not there.
At first, Shari didn't even know it was Puff. In fact, it took him over a year to figure it out. It wasn't until he flipped on the TV in the suite one night and saw a welcome screen that read, "Welcome Mr. Sean Combs," that it clicked. That veil-wearing man pacing in the corner, that was Diddy. And the woman, Cassie. Everything made sense in one disturbing moment.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like, I want to say like over a year.
Get the out of here. How long did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well?
Yeah, yo,
Okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was,
Right.
but I'm Googling a married couple.
Right.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you.
You know? So then, and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 a.m, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite. And just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, and the TV had a welcome message. So the TV said, yo, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I had no idea, man.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie.
And what makes it worse, Diddy didn't just watch. He participated in his own twisted way. Sheree described Puff pacing back and forth without clothes, except for a Muslim-style veil that only revealed his eyes. And in his hand, a bottle of Astroglide. Puff would walk, stroke himself, and make commands or gestures. Never to Sheree directly, only to Cassie.
Yeah, man. Every time, you know, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this, yo. So
What was being done with the Astroglide though? Paul.
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm saying? That was, you know, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean the whole time that's what I thought it was.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're gonna step it up to cuckold.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
But it didn't stop there. In one session, after Sheree had been working with them multiple times, Puff escalated it. They were in the bedroom this time, not the living room. Puff started walking around the bed while Shari and Cassie were getting into it. Then out of nowhere, Puff threw a stack of $100 bills on the bed and said, "I'm enjoying this." That money ended up being Shari's pay for the night, $2,000. That was his standard rate per session. Sometimes he'd do 3-day runs, Friday through Sunday, and make $6,000 in one weekend.
So in the bedroom, he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds, just threw it on the bed while we was, while me and her was having sex, and we both was like, what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And, you know, we just kept doing what we was doing.
Right.
Every single time I came, it was 1,200 or 2,000. But like I said, sometimes I could come 3 days in a row.
Right. So,
you know, so it would be 1,200, 2,000, 1,200 for that. You know what I'm saying?
For that session.
3 days. Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
But despite the cash, Shari made one thing clear. He was never comfortable, especially after realizing it was Diddy. The paranoia kicked in heavy, not because of what was being done to him, but because of what could possibly go down. He'd grown up in Harlem, he'd heard the rumors. He even mentioned that at some point when Puff would speak, he thought he heard phrases like, "I wish I could enter him." His nerves were shot. He started popping pills just to get through the sessions, just to stay hard and finish what he was paid for.
The whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my bro, for real, I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, "Yo, I like the position you in," and I'm like, "Yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him?" Like, hearing, you know what I'm saying?
When asked if he ever went without protection with Cassie, Sheree said yes, multiple times. The first time it happened, Puff actually gave verbal permission. Go ahead, have a good time. After that, it became routine, and every time he was required to climax on or around her, never inside. That was mandatory. The session couldn't end unless that happened.
And she kind of looked at him, and he was like, yo, go ahead, have a good time. And I was wild reckless. I just was what it was.
So it's only one time you went raw, you repeatedly went.
That was, let's say that was the fourth time, and then it was every time to the last time.
Got you.
He revealed all of this info on Cameron podcast, and his reaction was hilarious to say the least.
I saw it as an opportunity, man, and I was just trying to come through to, come up whatever way I could with that easy money, how I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that though?
And what Shari described, it wasn't just desire, it was a system, a machine that chewed people up behind closed doors. Shari never tried to get involved with Cassie personally. He made that clear. Even when Cassie said she felt comfortable with him, he understood it wasn't romantic. It was about functionality. She had to play her role for Puff's pleasure, and she needed someone she could tolerate to make the scene believable. Still, Shari knew the boundaries. He said he'd seen what happened when other dudes caught feelings. That wasn't going to be him.
I also seen that you say Cassie said she felt comfortable with you. Did you take that as she liked you?
Not really. I knew it was clear, man. This was something we were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me, but obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude,
Right.
So I always took it as, however the vibe was, however things went, it worked for her. So that's why she said, I want to call you back,
Got you.
There was no jealousy from Puff either. That's what made it even more twisted. Puff wasn't just allowing it, he was feeding off it. He wanted it.
Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse or participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like, good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like he was into it from an enjoyment standpoint, not.
So, but you saying he basically never was jealous. Cassie ever reach out to you without Puff?
Nah.
And it didn't stop there. Shari even claimed that Diddy once asked him to bust on him. And now Mase, who worked very closely with Diddy, is reacting to this entire mess. The pain and trauma that came from being associated with that label was too real, too deep.
Did you make the right decision leaving rap?
I did. Everything now that we see playing out was all the things I escaped. The car, the shine, the loan, the Puff Daddy, the Craig Mack,
Biggie Smalls.
the Biggie Smalls. So even though I made those decisions and it cost me money, that's why I got with and they gave me the money back. I didn't lose no money. It's destiny.
Mase said that he is also ready to visit Diddy in jail if he tries to drag him into this mess.
And next week I want to put it out to the fans. I'll let the fans vote on it. Unless you want to vote on it. They asking me to come to the Diddy trial. You think I should go this week?
It's up to you. I don't know your relationship.
No.
What is your relationship?
Why you gotta use relationship as a word?
I mean, that's what it is. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. How y'all cool or not cool? I don't know what else you want me to say. Like,
Nah, just a few people reached out to me, asked me, was I going out? I was trying to figure out a way I could go at least a day.
what's the question? Am I going?
Yeah.
I'll go with you. If you going, I'm gonna go with you. If you going, I'm gonna go with you.
Yeah.
Just me randomly going? Nah, I ain't going by myself.
All right.
If you gonna go, then yeah, I go with you.
And trust the internet has a lot to say about this nasty mess. One user said Puff pacing back and forth beating his joint has to be traumatizing, while another said, well, Diddy mask has fallen off, he now has to deal with the consequences of his actions, which means he will suffer mentally and physically, and the jailhouse will be his home. What's really going on behind the scenes here? Let us know your take down in the comments. And if you're all about the unfiltered story.
But yeah, that's the end of the video. Let me know what y'all thought about this whole situation, man. This is crazy, but yeah, Diddy's definitely getting his consequences, or facing his consequences. Let's just say that, because man, this isn't as bad compared to the other stuff that we've heard about Diddy. I'm not gonna lie, like this, like it's just a normal thing. When you hear about Diddy, you hear about Cassie, the room, Diddy in the chair. It's just weird, bro. You know what I mean? But it's nothing too crazy if you're talking about Diddy. You know what I mean? Because Diddy is an absolute weirdo. But at least Mase didn't get dragged into all this, you know? At least Mase was smart early in his career when he was blowing up. He didn't do anything with Diddy. You know what I mean? And he didn't really lose any money either, because he got the money back either way. So, I don't know, man. I don't have too much to say on the situation still. It's just Diddy being Diddy, you know, and Cassie doing whatever Diddy asked, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird, bro. Like, this is so weird. But when you talk about Diddy, bro, it's just like, this is a regular thing. If you talk about Diddy, this is just a regular thing. Compared to the other stuff, this is just a normal thing for Diddy. This is a thing Diddy does on like a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like, compared to the other, Diddy has done some really bad things. I'm not gonna lie. Really, really bad things. But this, there's levels. You know what I mean? There's levels. There's bad, and then there's horrible. You know what I mean? So, let me know what y'all think still, man. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. The guy said he didn't realize it was Diddy and Cassie after a year. It took him a year to realize. I don't blame him still, but I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think. And without further ado, if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content. And yeah, peace out.